Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the AI Learning Lab. We're going to do some learning about AI in a lab, or at least a home office. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome to the future. Good day, J Word. What's up, Phil? How you guys doing? What night is tonight? Thursday? Wednesday. Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. What's up, Earthlings? Good day, Kevin. A lot of people have showed up, but TikTok has not yet told me how many people are here, so I don't know if y'all can see it. Looks like zeros. Looks like none right now. Nothing. I got nothing. Except I see people. I see people coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 25. Cool. Is it possible for AI to act like people via a bot? Yeah, look at me. I'm sorry. I need to catch up to speed. Oh, you're being serious. Okay. Is it possible for AI to act like people via a bot? Yeah. I think if you're sort of chat interacting with this generative AI stuff, it can. They did a study about 3 weeks ago. Some results came out that a bunch of patients interacted with ChatGPT doctors, and then they interacted with real doctors, and the patients largely preferred the GPT doctor over the real doctor. They said they were more competent and more empathetic. So yes, you can. Welcome everybody. This is the AI Learning Lab. I'll show you what these URLs here are in a minute. I actually added one. It's been an interesting 2 or 3 days. ChatGPT all of a sudden has some real plausible competition. And that's interesting. I mean, I figured that would be coming, and I said I wouldn't change this list until some new shit happens. Till someone emerges that knocks someone off the list. And it's funny, I haven't knocked anyone off the list, but I added one. So we'll see how that goes. 108. Can AI get rid of Trump? Well, he's out there. I don't know. He's got some issues. I don't know that we need AI for that. He seems to be managing that himself. And also, I don't do politics here. I do not care to speak about it. I'm tired of the divisiveness, and I'm hoping AI can make us all human again. Ding, 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 ding. Bow! And I think it's actually a possibility. These bots actually speak to you with nuance and logic and empathy. Ironically enough, wouldn't it be amazing if the bots, rather than killing us, were the things that freed us up to be decent human beings again? That'd be fun. Anybody down with that? Anyway, welcome everybody. This is the AI Learning Lab. My name is Kyle Shannon. A little bit about my background. I'm an entrepreneur. I've started 12 or 15 companies in my day. I was an innovator in the early days of the World Wide Web. I started one of the first digital agencies, a company called agency.com, and I was chief creative officer there. And the parallels between the early days of the web and the early days of this generative AI stuff are insane. And it's got my mind all aflutter. And that's what this channel is about. Just talk about what I'm seeing, answer anything I can. If you have questions about AI, pop them down below. If you like this kind of content, it's what the channel's about. So give me a follow. And I see you're tapping the screen there. That's great. That'll let people know we're here. And yeah, let's get rolling on this fantastic Wednesday night. All right. Oh, I've also been giving out, thank you very much. I've been giving out free business ideas. Like the last 3 nights, it's been at least 2 business ideas a night that are going to be billion-dollar ideas. I just give them away for free. You don't even have to sign it. It's not even like a raffle or anything. I just give them. You just take them. You take these business ideas I come up with. I'm like answering someone's question. I'm like, hey, here's a business. I give it away. Give it away for free. Why? Because that's the kind of guy I am. Nah, it's really more just because I have ADD and I have 4,000 ideas a minute, and so there's more where that came from. So, and quite frankly, the idea is never the thing. It's always the execution. So, I've learned that many times in my life. What I've also learned is if you say an idea out loud, it is happening. It is being started while you say it out loud. It's being started at the same time. And if you don't do yours, 3 months later, that business will show up in the world. I've seen it happen like so many. It's freaky. It's freaky how many times that happens. So if you have an idea and you don't want it stolen, just don't say it out loud. But the minute you say it out loud, you better do it. Okay, so let's talk about if you're new to generative AI, if you've not played with ChatGPT, that's what the top URL is. That's the official ChatGPT website. And then Bing, Claude, and Poe.com, Claude.ai, are all different flavors of it. So Bing is Microsoft's implementation of ChatGPT 4. So you can play with, the official GPT-4 there. That's Microsoft's version of GPT-4. Claude is a competitor to GPT-4, and they just launched Claude 2, where you can upload files and it'll read them and you can interact with them. So you can upload a big PDF. It also has 100,000 token context window. So that means if you go to Claude.ai, you can input a prompt as big as 75,000 words. So like your whole novel, the great American novel that you wrote, you can just pop it into Claude and start, having it edit it for you, give you other ideas. And then Poe.com actually lets you play with the Claude models, the OpenAI models, and their own model. And plus it's got Poe.com. And plus it's got a bot builder. You can make your own bot. And the bot now you can use GPT-4 and Claude 100,000 token in your bots. So the bots that people are going to make with Poe.com are going to be insane. So these are all just different flavors of ChatGPT. If you've not played with one of them, go do it now. Prompts.chat will teach you how to interact with them. It'll give you a primer on prompting and then give you some ideas. And then Futurepedia.io, that's just a giant pile of AI tools that I can't keep up with them anymore. So Matt Wolf, I think is his name, that created that. He's keeping up with that shit. I can't do it anymore. So I am I am delegating that to some YouTuber dude. Am I Gen X? Yes, I am Gen X. Gen X in the house. I ain't no boomer. You know what else is? I'll tell you what. You got to be careful of Gen X because we know how to use computers, and we're going to be really good at this shit. So you little young whippersnappers, we're going to figure out how to use this AI stuff. And you're going to be like, what do you mean I lost my job to an old man? It's going to happen. All right. Will AI reveal the Illuminati and the aliens? If the data is there, one of the things it's really good at is looking at disparate pieces of data and analyzing it and pulling it all together. If you haven't played with Code Interpreter, go do that, because if there is data to be had that can prove that, and you can get to that data, why indeed, you might be able to reveal some shit. It's pretty amazing stuff what it's capable of doing. Yet let's unite here. Yes, I am Gen X. Can AI make sure we get a monthly stipend since they're going to take over all our jobs? Well, AI can't make sure that we do that, but we as a society better fucking figure something out. I don't think we're going to need universal income for long. I think that my suspicion, or the way I'm seeing things play out, I think there's going to be a 2 to 3 year period of painful disruption where people lose jobs. And then we're going to start seeing entirely new categories of jobs being invented because of AI. So this happens at every major technological innovation, but this one's gonna be big, profound, and fast. But I think also the kind of the prosperity kick up because of this stuff, and the um, new jobs that are created because of this stuff, I think they're gonna kick up as fast as well. So I don't think the pain is gonna be like a decade. I think it'll be more like 2, 3, 5 years maybe, and then it'll start to get interesting. AI seems nicer than humans. It's Danny. That's it. Yes, especially in the States, and it seems like this is not just the States, but there's just a lot of polarization going on right now. So we're not taking each other in very much. These tools are actually really good at listening and responding reasonably to an inquiry. And we as humans have gotten really shitty at that in the past decade. I mean, I think we've always been generally bad at it, but so these things are good. I have a feeling that these tools are going to help us be better people. All right. What's the XAI about? Elon Musk is behind it. So, Kevin, yes, Elon Musk put $50 million into OpenAI as a nonprofit, and he said he did it in reaction to having some dinners with Sergey Brin from Google, who was a little bit too flippant about AI safety. And so Elon Musk said, I'm going to start a nonprofit to make sure that someone is doing something with AI that isn't just Google, because he didn't like his attitude. And so it started as a nonprofit. And then, depending on who you believe, I'm going to go with Sam Altman, because Sam Altman actually seems reasonable and thoughtful, and Elon Musk seems a little like emotional and rammy. But what ended up happening was, as OpenAI learned more and more about how to use the transformer model that Google invented, ironically enough, what they realized is that the more data they threw at transformers and the more processing power they threw at them, the better they got. And what they realized is they needed to throw so much compute power at it thank you for the roses, appreciate that. They needed to throw so much compute power at it that they couldn't raise that much money as a nonprofit. So they went to what's called a capped for-profit, which I had never heard of before. I don't know if they made that up. I assume they didn't, but a capped for-profit, which just basically says no investor can make more. I think it's 100x their investment, which is still a lot. And it's got some limited rights. Sam Altman doesn't own any of the stock, which is interesting. He's the founder and CEO. He doesn't own any of the stock. So that's all the background. And then about, 3 months ago, Elon Musk signed a letter that said, anyone who's doing AI research like OpenAI, why don't y'all take a 6-month pause? Because this stuff's dangerous and we don't want it advancing. So why don't you all take a 6-month pause? And a bunch of people signed it, but Elon Musk was kind of at the front of the line there. And then a week later, Elon Musk accepted a shipment of 10,000 GPUs and started X.AI, which is a competitor to OpenAI and to Anthropic and to Inflection, which also probably deserves a spot on that list. Pi.ai. So that's what XAI is about. So at some point, Elon Musk is going to come out with, now what he's been saying is these things should be open source. They should be free to the world. We'll see what he does. Biz idea for someone. AI adjacent, a geeky chicken wings place that shows Star Wars. No sports ball. That's actually not a bad idea. You could just do it would just be all sort of geeky kind of cult films. You could narrow it to sci-fi, but you could also just take, cult films. That's not a bad idea. I mean, what could you do with AI with that? I don't know. You could remix your movies in real time. I want to see Star Wars with the cast of Indiana Jones. There you go. Have you been on Shark Tank? No, but I was on, there was a show called American Inventor that was before Shark Tank. It only lasted one season, but I was on one season of it. I had my inventions were a lawn sled. So it was basically like a winter sled, but it had wheels on it. So you could go down hills in summertime and in the South. And then we had this thing called zip lights, which was like a magnetic base and like, those little zip things that the string would pull out and zip back in with a little light on the end of it, a little LED light. And like one of the inventor dudes there said, so you mean tell me people are going to buy a light and stick it in their closet and just leave it there? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, that's ridiculous. And like 2 years later, those puck lights came out that they sold billions of. So I don't think my idea was stolen. I just think that guy was an idiot. Yeah, I had an invention company called Invention Asylum. And so my buddy Steve Sashen, who is the CEO of a company called Zero Shoes, XEROS, Zero Shoes. He was on Shark Tank. He and his wife were on Shark Tank. He has no qualifications, none. Do not believe anything I say. I have a degree in acting. Started using ChatGPT to review my novel. Interesting. What's your name? Miminent. I think it's a good name. It's hard to say. It's like too many other words. But I'm curious, like, what's been the result? Like, has it been good? Has it been helping? How's it helping you edit? I'd love to hear. Pop it down there. Gen X rocks. Yes. All right. What are your qualifications, sir? I have no qualifications. I resemble that remark. You people with your desire for knowledge and credentials. Thank you for that. What's the best AI-related stock, in my opinion? I think it's been established. I have no qualifications. I also have a degree in acting. That's been established by Penn State. And so I wouldn't take any advice from me, but I can tell you the companies that I think are interesting right now. Let's see. That's one of them. That's another one. Microsoft. That's another one. Anthropic. Poe. No, I don't really care about. That's Quora. Quora's been around for a while. I don't know about Poe. It's not. I don't think they're doing interesting research. I could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, Poe's at least showing up as a competitor. I think Inflection is interesting. That's the one that was the relatively newly founded company by Reid Hoffman of LinkedIn and the dude from DeepMind. And they just raised $1.3 billion. So that's Inflection. So of the startups, those are the ones I'm paying attention to. I think Microsoft's interesting. I think Google is struggling. I think Meta is struggling. But Meta seems like they've got a more interesting approach to this AI stuff, at least short term, than Google does. But Google invented a lot of this shit. So I can't count Google out. NVIDIA seems like they have a quasi monopoly, and the Pi.ai, that Inflection company from the DeepMind dude, they're going to spend a good chunk of that $1.3 billion on building a data center with 20,000 GPUs, like the big honkin' $10,000 or $20,000 NVIDIA cards. So that's going to make NVIDIA's stock do something interesting. So I don't know. I assume all that shit's baked into the price already, but because, NVIDIA hit $1 trillion market cap a month ago. But AMD's trying to compete with them, but it doesn't look... I don't know. NVIDIA seems like they have an interesting kind of lock on the processor business, the GPU business. I don't quite know how that world works, but holy shit, it must be mighty expensive. Pretty impressive. I don't know what was impressive. The hair? The hair. The hair is doing a special thing tonight. It's parted in like six different directions. This is like a vortex. There's like a wormhole in my head where aliens are like entering and leaving the universe. All right, well, what are you gonna do? Why don't you have a podcast? Oh! I had a podcast. If you go look up, You Should Have Been There. I did a podcast for a year about the early days of the internet where we interviewed, my buddy Ritesh Patel and I interviewed a bunch of the early founders from the early days of the web. Craig Kanarick and Jeff Dachis from Razorfish and just a bunch of people from agency.com. It was cool. I might do a podcast. I'm just doing the TikTok thing because it started as I was learning about this generative AI stuff. I was like, my mind was so overloaded with ideas and crap and learning, and I didn't have anyone to talk to about it because like all of my friends and family were like, we don't give a shit. Shut up, go away. And so I started the TikTok just as a way to kind of process my thoughts and get it out there. And then I started doing the lives just as a way to not blow a couple hours a night doing sim racing, which I was doing for like 2 years in a row, which was fine. But I feel like there's an important, I think talking about this shit's important. I think getting people to try it and be curious about it is really important. So guys, it was a joke from his stream last night. He has no qualifications. Exactly. What's the best AI platform to build an AI sales agent for texting leads and moving them through a CRM? Probably the easiest thing to do if you want to do that is just do a Zapier automation or a series of them. You can start really simply. And you could probably do something, when a lead is created in Salesforce, that's a trigger that then generates an email, and that email could be based on, some text from that Salesforce record. So I would say Zapier is probably it's an ecosystem that's got lots and lots of services connected to it. I think it's like 5,000 or 6,000 services that you can connect to through Zapier. So I would say just start with, what's your triggering event? Like what's going to trigger, some communication, and then how do you need to process that through OpenAI or Anthropic or whichever one you use, probably OpenAI. And then how are you going to send it? Are you sending an email? Is it going into a blast email, or is it just updating a record in a database? Lots of ways to do it. So if you have more specific questions, that's probably where I'd start. And then it's not an AI platform, but it's just a platform that you can incorporate AI into and tie it into lots of other systems you're probably already using. And then go to futurepedia.io, that bottom URL there. And I'm sure there are sales specific AI tools that people have created, because obviously this is something that's going to be big. My caveat with going to Futurepedia is that there's probably 4,000 tools in there, of which maybe 400 are not abject pieces of shit. So the signal to noise ratio there is going to be low. There's just going to be a lot of crap. And the problem with this new AI world, and because everyone's got templates, is that all of these apps are going to look really slick. And it's not until you've like committed and start using it that you realize, oh, this is just a hollow piece of poop that I shouldn't have paid for. So I'd be careful there. But there's probably something there to look at. Interesting. Why wouldn't you just execute and run with the idea? Because I have too many of them. And because, so I got a couple of things going on. I've got my current company. So I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Storyvine. It's an 11-year-old automated video production platform. I'm now incorporating AI into the product vision for that company and re-architecting the value proposition and just everything. I'm sort of rethinking everything about it. So that's a lot. And then I've got the AI salon that I run, which is a bi-weekly salon. Like, that doesn't take a ton of time, but that's some time. I'm also the chief generative officer for a like a federation of marketing companies. And chief generative officer doesn't mean anything. I was just given that title. So the guy that runs it goes, "Hey, do you want a title, chief generative officer?" I'm like, "Sure." He goes, "I think it's the first one in the world." I'm like, "All right." But that takes up some time, and so I just have a lot of stuff going on anyway. And here's the thing I know about any idea is that you shouldn't start it if you're not willing to see it through the dark times, because as exciting as anything is, once you put it in the world, you're going to hit brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. And so if it was just a brain fart that was like, "Oh, here's a good idea," and it really could have been a good idea, if I'm not like, tied to it, it won't survive my ADD for one thing. But it also won't survive just the gauntlet of starting a business, because it's just starting and running businesses is hard. It's hard. It's like I wouldn't and couldn't do anything else. Like at this point, I think I am 98.9% unhireable. And plus I don't really want to be hired. Someone can make me a ridiculous offer, and then I'll probably reconsider that, but whatever. Yeah, so my heart's got to be in it, or I can't do it. I just can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Some comments in the live were filtered to protect the community's experience. Don't be assholes to each other. Thank you. All right. Sean, I built one. I can show you. Oh, okay, cool, Christopher. Connect with Sean. Actually, this has been happening a lot in the lives, and it makes me very happy of people just kind of connecting with one another. One of the things that is a hallmark of my lives is that I try to answer all the questions, so I get really behind, and so people don't think I'm actually live, but whatever. And you've all been helping one another as you have questions. That's been really cool. Do me a favor, double tap the screen, get some likes going to see if we can get some more people here. Share the live if you know how to do that, and you're willing to. Like if you think like, who's this damn old man? I don't want anyone else to see this stupid shit. If my friends see this, I'm not endorsing this. You don't need to endorse me. That's fine. Coffee, by the way. What is the best one? What is which best one, Danny? What were you asking? Why don't you have a podcast? What's the best podcast? Oh, I don't know, for this AI stuff? I don't know. The only one I listen to really consistently is the Paul Reitzer's Marketing AI Institute. I listen to that weekly. He's got his shit together. He's been doing this for like 5 or 6 years on this generative AI stuff around marketing. So I think it's that one's a good one. Mine's like 120K. I don't know what that means. Told my idea to someone 20 years ago and heard it in a speech recently with all the same examples. Yeah, that happens. I'm telling you, man, you put something in the world, it's just in the world. I don't know what it is. There's something about it. It just happens, especially when there's like a lot of energy. There's so much energy around this stuff. The other thing that's going to happen with these tools is it's going to be incredibly easy for people to steal other people's businesses, like incredibly easy. Not just the look and feel, not just the marketing, like all the typical shit you see today. The barrier to entry historically was doing the execution part, like doing the coding of a particular kind of platform or a particular kind of service. That was always the barrier to entry. But with these tools, you're going to literally be able to say, grab me all the marketing positioning, rewrite it so it sounds different, grab me the design, redesign it so it looks different, but it's still functionally the same. And then let's go ahead and just copy that functionality. I don't know what that does to the world of investing and startups and entrepreneurs. It seems like it's going to be a really stressful time. Just like it's going to be stressful for people who get displaced out of current, 9-to-5 jobs. I think there's going to be similar displacement in the startup world and certainly in the investing world. So it's going to be that's an interesting time. How do I access code interpreter? Is it a plugin or separate service? Here, I'll show you. Okay, so here we are at ChatGPT. You can make money with ChatGPT. So in order to get access to code interpreter, you need to have a ChatGPT Plus account. Why is this not? There we go. You have to have a ChatGPT Plus account, and then you'll get access to it. Now, if you have a GPT Plus account and don't see it, that means you haven't enabled it. So you have to go to your settings, and then in your settings, there's this thing called beta features, and turn them on. So you got plugins and you got code interpreter. And at some point, they'll bring back Browse with Bing. I don't know what's taking them so long, but whatever. Just turn them on. And then you will see code interpreter. And if you haven't seen code interpreter, let me show you what it do. It's amazing. So normally in ChatGPT, you just type your thing here, like write me a poem, and it'll do that. What you can do with code interpreter is you hit plus, upload a file. And then I forget what, this was a data set I grabbed last night. I don't even remember what it was, but it's called archive5zip. And it's uploading. Slowly. And I can now go, what is in this file? Question mark. So it says the uploaded file appears to be a zip archive. To see what's inside, I'll have to unpack it. Let's do that. And then it fires off this plugin looking thing. And if you look at what it did, it actually wrote Python code. It loaded some libraries, wrote Python code to unzip that file, unzipped it, and then it says, oh, this is crime data. So it says it contains the following: crime, offense, and crime XML. Would you like to preview the content of these files or perform a specific, let's say, preview? Preview what's here. And so again, it's writing Python code to read those files and give us a little example of what's there. You don't have to look at this code. This is all just happening in the background. So there's what the files returned. So it seems like there was an issue reading one of the files because it was encoded weirdly. So now it's going to try another way of encoding it, or reading the encoding. Looks like it hung. So it's probably going to apologize and try something else. And that's another thing that's wild about this is if it fails, it'll try again. And it apologizes. I'm going to say stop generating. Let me say, please visualize the interesting trends in this data. Something went wrong. Regenerate response. Something went wrong. Okay, I got to reload it. You failed. I'm sorry, you failed. If you're sitting there thinking, well, I thought code interpreter was supposed to be so cool, why did it just poop out on you? Because all of this technology right now is early. It's just a sign that we're early. If it were perfect and easy to use, then we wouldn't be at this phase of the beginning of a remarkable transformation in all of humanity. So let's see. Please visualize the interesting trends in the data here. Let's see what it does. First, let's unzip it. Seems like there was an encoding problem, so now it's going to try a different encoding. Thank you for the hearts. All right, so now there's the data: incidents, offense code, offense type, offense category, first occurrence date, last occurrence date, incident address, geographic coordinates of the incident, neighborhood. So there's a bunch of interesting stuff there. So it's unzipped the file, figured out the encoding of the CSV files, read the data. Now it's reading the data of another CSV file. So it says, before analyzing the data, let's take a quick look at the XML just so we understand the hierarchical structure. So it's got, there's your metadata from the XML. So now let's move forward with the analysis of the CSV file. Based on the contents, there are several interesting trends we might explore. Number of incidents over time, distribution of offense by type or category, distribution of incidents by geographic area, number of victims per offense. So let's do a beautiful visualization around 3. So it knows what I meant by 3. It gave me 4 options, and I just picked the third one. So it says, sure, let's do it by geographical area. We could start with distribution of incidents by district. Let's create a bar chart, incidents for each district. So that's boring. Can you make it a heat map on a geographic map? Let's see if it can figure that out. Unfortunately, I'm not able to generate a geographic map. That's not always true. Oh, because lack of the internet access. But there it tells me the code I could do if I wanted to do it myself. Let's see. Can you do some other more visually interesting look? I don't know. Sure, I understand you're looking for something more visually interesting. How about we explore temporal trends in the data? We can visualize the number of crimes. I'm just going to say yes. See what it comes up with. To do this, we'll need to convert the first occurrence date to a date time format, then extract the hour for each timestamp. So now it's doing some full-on, data work, some data cleansing and reformatting. We're waiting. If it times out, it'll often give itself a new task too. I have no idea how much data is in here. I think it's a fair amount of data. Now, what this thing's actually doing is when you start a chat instance with Code Interpreter, it's actually creating a virtual machine. So this is like our own little stand-up computer or virtual computer that is, setting up all of its RAM and its places to write data, and it's installing Python and installing the libraries and then running all that stuff within that virtual machine. So that's number of incidents by hour of the day. I mean, that's fine. It's not all that interesting, but anyway, we could go on. But that's what Code Interpreter does. That's how you find it. So hopefully that gives you what you need. I'm parsing it out in ChatGPT chapter by chapter, and it's keeping up so far. The only thing to be careful with if you're doing it chapter by chapter is just be cognizant of the context window. It's only 3,000 words. So it may forget your earlier chapters. So what you might want to do, if you haven't already done this, is for each chapter have it summarize the chapter so that you've got a shorter representation of what's happening in the chapters leading up to the current one you're on. That'll keep as much as possible in the context window. The other thing you could try is Claude.ai has 100,000 token context window. So you could pop all of your writing in that and then just start interacting with it. That's another option. I don't think it's as good as GPT-4, but it's pretty flippin' good. I feel the same way. I can't keep up. I know. Same here. Can't keep up at all. It's just there's too much. There's too much, Buck. You know. It's like I told you. There's just a lot. There's a lot to deal with. It keeps coming at you. Ah! You see? It's a lot. Champ. That's Champ. Quick question. Can Turnitin detect AI? Is Turnitin homework like plagiarism software? Probably. If your university or your high school is using AI detecting software, I would transfer. We should be past the point at this point where universities are saying, we're just going to use AI detector software. They should be engaging with AI and teaching their students how to deal with what's coming. They should be teaching them critical thinking skills and understanding how this shit works and what the implications are. But that's a whole separate conversation. Love your haircut. Thanks. I don't know that this is a haircut so much as a, like 3 toupees got in a fight and this one lost. It's just really bad. But thank you. I'm just here for the shirts. Oh, yeah. This shirt is, you can almost read the text in front of it. It's a little busy. There's a lot going on here. It's a little hard to read. It hurts the eyes, but thank you. Any AI crypto making tokenism type apps? You can, ChatGPT does smart contracts. You could just copy your favorite smart contract, paste it in there and say, write me a new smart contract and give it whatever you want it to be, and it'll do it. Probably go to futurepedia.io. There's probably some crypto bros have figured out a way to put a front end in front of it. But what I would do, seriously, what I would do is it's good enough with coding and with a lot of the smart contract stuff that I would probably just figure out how to do it in ChatGPT. Just go learn. And maybe you start a business, right? Maybe that becomes a business, Click here to build an NFT collection. Here's your images. Here's your this. Here's your smart contract. Here's your this. Do you want to deploy it? Start a Discord server and get ready to rug your followers. It's a Web3 tradition. You can now rug people without even knowing code. Oh, Web3. Time was, huh? Showed such promise. Web3's got 3 years of wound licking, well-deserved wound licking. But I think AI is going to drive adoption of Web3 in the end, because I think it's actually really important technology. It just had the wrong people at the helm for a while there. All right, I'm trying to figure out where I was. Champy, stop it. Hey! What'd you do tonight? I don't know, watch some old man yell at his dog for an hour. Why would you do that? I have no idea. Oh, that's way old questions. Hold, please. I lost my place. It's hard. You don't know how hard it is to do a TikTok live. NVIDIA laughing my ass off. Because why? You don't think they have a monopoly on this AI shit? Tell me someone who can compete with them right now. All of the software infrastructure is based on their based on making calls to their chips. No one else seems to be doing it. Maybe Intel GPUs, but maybe AMD. Go listen to the if you want to hear a really interesting take on that stuff. Go listen to the Lex Friedman George Hotz interview from 3 days ago, and listen to George Hotz talk about he almost bailed on AMD, and then they're trying to get their shit together, and then he almost went to Intel and didn't want to do that, but he doesn't want NVIDIA at the top of the heap, but he's like, who's going to compete? ChatGPT novel analysis was pretty impressive. It picked up on what I intended to do thematically. That's cool. From a fiction narrative perspective, but it's hard to trust. At first, it responded like, I'm a great writer. That's interesting. When I asked if there were problems, it found problems in contradictions to previous analysis. And after several chapters, it crashed several times. But the basic analysis was at least on point with what I intended. That's pretty cool. Hey, Troy Decker. It is Kyle. That's me. I'm Kyle. Yeah, the narrative analysis thing, having ChatGPT be like your writing coach and your writing partner is a really interesting idea. That would be a good business to build. Is you could almost build a tool that works in stages, right? There's the ideation stage, there's the blocking and tackling rough draft stage, and then there's different levels of refinement. And if you could build tools that make it really easy for writers to navigate those stages of writing a novel where they're still in charge, but you're kind of supporting them and doing it in this sort of pre-structured way with a really slick interface, that's a business. Now, what's the downside of that business? Writers are broke. Who's going to fucking pay for it? So it's not a business. It's a good idea. One of the things you should always be asking yourself, because there might be a brilliant idea and people might tell you, holy crap, yeah, that's awesome. I'd use that. Don't mistake that for here's a check. That's what you need to figure out, is build something that's a good enough solution someone's willing to write a check for it. I'm sorry, that's very Gen X, that someone's willing to Venmo you money for it or give you 6 diamonds. Hey, Kyle, you're like a fine wine, better with age, Gen X. Yeah, thanks, Troy. In the either, have you heard of Roadmap to Riches? I have not. I will check it out, though. My novel's about 120,000 words. Oh, interesting. So, yeah, that's a big fatty of a novel. Does it need to be 120,000 words? If it does, it does. But that could be an interesting exercise, is to see how ChatGPT might how it would suggest tightening that if you want to tighten it. But if it's like a big epic story, then maybe it needs to be that big. I don't fucking know. I don't read, so ADD and reading for me, they do not go well together. I want ChatGPT to rewrite and design my website. How would I go about it? I don't know. There's a lot of ways to do it. I don't know enough about that world. I mean, I would go to futurepedia.io and look at some of the tools that people have already created for AI-assisted web, design and redesign, and design analysis. I'm sure there's some tools there that do it. You can also just try taking chunks of your code, pasting it into ChatGPT and say, tell me about this website, and then describe how you want it changed, and just sort of go back and forth, copying and pasting code, like describe how you want things changed, go back and see how it works on the site. You might do that. if you're doing that, or just use one of the no-code tools, Squarespace or Webflow or whatever. He's so polite to the robot. I am. I do say please and thank you because, quite frankly, the robot's polite to me, and it kind of just triggers. It's less like I'm prompting a robot and more like I'm having a conversation with a remote coworker. And so I find myself. I think I've gotten over this part of it, but this has taken me 5 or 6 months. Is like if it would be getting things wrong, or I just have a new idea and I'm like, oh, I want you to rewrite this. Oh, rewrite it again. Rewrite it again. About the third time I'd say rewrite it again, I would start to feel guilty. Like maybe I'm asking it to do too much. And they're like, oh no, it's a robot, you fucking idiot. But it's like there's something about, because it feels like you're interacting with a person, you're having like this back and forth collaborative thing. That experience I have with a real human, like about the third time I send something back for a rewrite, I just go, oh, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. It'll be faster for me to just do it myself. And that's, just me being a spineless ninny and not wanting to offend someone. But whatever. He's apocrypha. I don't know what that. Rachel, good word. Good Lord. This is the AI Learning Lab. Apparently, this is the vocabulary learning lab as well. Apocrypha. That seems like one I should be able to figure out from the Greek. A collection of writings that are not included in the standard canon of religious tradition. Wow. Fantastic. That is, it is worth noting the term apocrypha can also be used more broadly to refer to any non-canonical or disputed writings. Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay. Is your GPT on a local machine? No, I haven't done that. Oh, he is apocrypha. Apocrypha's a person in here. So Rachel's referring to apocrypha, not saying I am apocrypha, but you're saying I am whatever she was asking or he was asking before. But now we know what apocrypha is. That's cool. Am I saying that right? It's got to be apocrypha. Okay, agree. All right. Oh, crap. TikTok just jumped me to the bottom. Dang it, TikTok. Son of a... Love your lives, bro. Thank you, Meta Victory. I appreciate that. I feel like I'm saying nothing today. I feel like I'm just rambling tonight. So if I am, just tell me I'm wasting your time. ChatGPT novel analysis was pretty impressive. Oh, wait, we're already here. Oh, TikTok. Man, it's just jumping me all over the place. What's happening? Look at Tiny Bucks. Do you think universal income is inevitable? Okay, is your GPT on a local machine? No, my GPT is not on a local machine. I'll probably do a local LLM install when they get better and smaller and more stable. They're just evolving too fast right now. Although I met with our tech team today, and we've got an instance of LangChain up and running so that we can start running LangChain prompts on all of the transcriptions in our videos. So I sort of have a local machine running, but not on like my local personal machine. So I do for work. Do you think universal income is inevitable? I think something is going to be necessary. I do. I think maybe a year from now. Yeah, probably about a year from now. The disruption is the disruption from AI on the workforce is going to be significant enough that I don't know. My sense is it won't be as dramatic as COVID. COVID, we were just like, okay, tomorrow, don't leave the house, right? It was just like, bang. And it was global. It was fucking surreal. I don't think it's going to be like that, but I do think that there's going to be a level of disruption that's bad enough that it's going to have to be dealt with. And I don't think companies are going to deal with it because they're just money machines, and they'll be like, well, we're generating the same amount of product with a third of the people. Awesome profit, Bob. You going golfing this weekend? No, I'll be on the yacht. Sorry. So I think they'll be doing that. And then I think the ex-workers are going to be, increasingly pissed off and freaked out. And so I think something's going to happen. Hopefully, it doesn't get to the point where people are freaking out and they have to do something. Hopefully they do something proactively, but we'll see. Like it could be, it could be universal income, or it could be incentives to companies to not lay off people. Like if they're seeing, increased productivity with AI, to maintain their current employer levels. There were a lot of those incentives with COVID, don't lay off your people. So I could see something like that. But I could also see there being some sort of universal income. I don't think it's going to be necessary to maintain it for maybe, I don't know, more than 2 or 3 years. But I don't know. Look at TinyBox. TinyBox is really interesting. TinyBox is George Hatz's new company. He's creating, or it's called Tiny Corp. And then the computer that he's building is called TinyBox. And it's a $15,000 6 GPU AI monster machine that basically what he wants to do is he wants to make the most powerful AI supercomputer that you can just plug into a regular wall outlet and not have to run special power to it, and not have to run special cooling to it, and not have it be so noisy that you can't work next to it. But it's going to be like, some ridiculous amount of flops that you can do. You can run a 65 billion parameter large language model on it. He's a pretty brilliant dude. That dude, he got some fucking marbles going on in the old gumball factory, if you know what I mean. All right. What I liked was when it got critical about prose it wrote, a disclaimer stating that it was a subjective analysis. That's interesting. Silver Fox. Do you know how long Code Interpreter keeps your project results to refer back to? Not long. Like, this is one of the... Okay, so here's a real frustrating thing about Code Interpreter right now. I don't have my little URLs up, do I? Code Interpreter, like, if you go away from it for like 30 minutes, and sometimes it's faster. Like, I can't tell when it shuts it down. So you upload some stuff, you run some data analysis on it, it makes you all the charts and graphs. If you go back to it like half an hour later, it says, this is gone. And then it just, everything's gone. And you can redo it, but you're gonna have to start from scratch. So a thing you're gonna have to do with Code Interpreter short term, because they'll fix this, is once you get results that you like, migrate that stuff into other documents. It's a really good question. It's a problem. So you just need to keep on top of it. Just know that whatever's in your active session, anything you want to keep, get it out of there. I'm in the roadmap to Rich's marketing group. You would be an asset. Oh, cool. Let me go. So do me a favor, Rachel, just send me a DM, and I'll check it out for sure. He's Apocrypha. That's really funny that I thought you were calling me Apocrypha. I'm like, I'm a lost book of the Bible? Can ChatGPT 4 interact with Google Maps or other map apps? Let's go look at plugins. I think there's some map plugins. So let's go. I'll show you some. Rutro. I wonder if plugins are turned off. Oh, your session has expired. No. Da, 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 da. Here we come to save the day. Name that comedian. Come on, you Gen Xers. No plugins enabled. Plugins down? I think plugins is down. Reload. Plugins. Okay, they're back. Okay. Never mind. False alarm. Don't go posting that on Twitter. They're back. Okay. Never mind. False alarm. Don't go posting that on Twitter. AI Learning Lab said that OpenAI canceled plugins. All right. Maps. Okay, maps. Map app takes longitude and latitude coordinates and generates a map. TomTom explores maps, gets traffic updates. How many of these? Oh, there's only 8 of them. Whimsical diagrams, mind maps. Mixerbox, powered by Google Maps API. Mixerbox Chat Map is the world's first AI chatbot for maps. Powered by Google Maps API, Mixerbox Chat Map is the world's first AI chatbot for maps. Okay, for the marketers in the audience, if you ever write a sentence like that and actually put that out to the public, you should be ashamed of yourself. You cannot physically say this sentence, much less understand it. Powered by Google Maps API, Mixerbox Chat Map is the world's first AI chatbot for maps. If you write something like that, have ChatGPT rewrite it. But let's try this and see if it works. Okay, so I'm going to install Mixerbox Chat Map. If you can't say it if you can't say it one time fast, it's too complicated. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm turning off Instacart, so we only have Mixerbox Chat Maps. I can't say it. That's fucking hilarious. Okay, let's see. What would we do? Trying to think. I'm not connected to the internet, so let's just say, show me the water around Coney Island. So this should fire off the plugin. It did. Here are some water-related places around Coney Island. New York Aquarium. No. Wait. No. I want to see the Hudson River on the map near Coney Island. See if we can get it to actually generate some map things. But what this is telling me is, so there's Coney Island. Coney Island Creek in Brooklyn. Oh, that's an interesting one. Let's go look at that. All right, so it's taken us, here's Coney Island Beach, and there's the creek. I've fished out here. This is good. I've walked out here and fished. That's fun. I don't know what this does beyond that you couldn't do on Google Maps, right? So, like what it says to me is that the fact that there's only 5 plugins that have maps and one of them isn't even map related is that this is probably something that's coming. Well, let's go try another thing. Let's go try Bing, because Bing's connected to the internet. And Bing is also a search engine with a map. So let's go to chat, and then let's say, show me the, let's see, overlay today's high and low temps on a map of Coney Island. So I went to bing.com, went to chat, and then just typed that in. I'm sorry, I'm not able to overlay this over a map. How else can I help you? Yeah, so it looks like they're not really dealing with maps right now. So there's a business, there's something to play with. I'm not sure what you want to do with it. It might be that there's a map API for Google, so I would think it would be relatively trivial to build some automations or some applications that do that. You are invaluable. Thank you. By the way, your idea too, and then it cuts off. Thank you, Sean. Kyle, hi. Quick thoughts on making a choice on AI tools and how many to concentrate on for beginners. Awesome question. And hello, AI for beginners. Why I put these URLs on, this is my answer. And the only thing that I would add to this are the image generation tools. But I think as a foundation, where to start is with ChatGPT, just the official website. If you can't afford ChatGPT Plus, then use Bing or Claude. Now, so it used to be Bing was the free version of GPT-4, but now Claude, which is a bunch of ex-OpenAI people, now that they've launched this is Claude 2 with 100,000 token context window, which for beginners, it just basically means you can put a shitload of words in it and it doesn't break. GPT-4 still breaks, after 3,000 words or so. It might be up to 6,000 words now, but it's still not 75,000 words like Claude is. And then Poe.com lets you play with a bunch of different models, 3 from Anthropic, 2 from OpenAI, and 1 from themselves. Plus, they've got bots. So as a beginner, I would focus on learning prompting. And so prompts.chat, that document right there, it's just a document called Awesome ChatGPT Prompts. And it's really just a single flavor of prompt, which is act as a, persona here. So act as an accountant, act as a screenwriter, act as a therapist, act as a coach, act as a nutritionist. But you can really quickly get your head around what prompting is, how to do it, and also how incredibly fucking profoundly deep these tools are. These are not fancy Google searches. So anyone beginning, I would say, basically, this is what I've been saying in here. You owe it to yourself to play with these tools long enough for you to have your Kevin McAllister moment, which is this moment. The Home Alone moment. Where at some point you'll do something with one of these and it'll just blow your fucking mind. And that's the point at which you should start getting that. Then you should start digging in, and then you can start to focus about what tools you want to use and where you want to explore. On the image side of the house, you can do free images at bing.com. You just tell it to make an image and it will. That's using DALL-E. I personally pay for Midjourney because I think it's the best. Stable Diffusion, if you're geeky, has the by far the greatest flexibility of the tools out there. Adobe Firefly and Generative Fill within Photoshop are commercially safe because they train their models on open source or public domain and Adobe stock libraries that they have the rights to. So if you don't want to risk being in any sort of legal waters, I would steer away from Midjourney and Stable Diffusion, and probably even DALL-E, and I would go toward the Adobe products. So that's where I'd start. And then if you really just want to geek out, Futurepedia.io, that's just a big old pile of tools. So you can feel free to go what about, I want to compose music. Go there and find all the music tools. I accidentally hit send, skip my comment. Okay. Kyle, you big fat oaf, get a real haircut. And what's with the glasses? Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. It's fine. Whatever you said. I won't take it personally. I spend too much time on AI Lab. My wife is getting jealous. You think your wife is getting jealous? My wife's like, who are you talking to? Are you going to go do that again? So, yeah. Yeah, I get it. I understand. I felt bad for a split second when I kept having to add the letter I was writing. I felt bad for a split second. I don't know what that's in reference to. Da, 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 da. Sorry. All right. We're building an AI call center agents. I'm just a dumb entrepreneur. No, you're not. In my opinion, this will displace 80% of call center reps. I saw a really unfortunate headline today. It said Indian call center replaces 90, like, I don't know, whatever, 94, 96%, like fires 94, 96% of its staff. And I was sort of imagining like 100,000 person call center, but it was a 22 person company. But yeah, I agree. I think that I think call centers are going to be replaced, and I think from an end user experience standpoint, they should go, because here's the deal. I want to be able to call a company, and rather than sitting on hold for 45 minutes, talk to a synthesized bot that knows everything about the company, can answer all of my questions, has the authority to do some level of shit, and is smart enough to know that if my problem is non-standard and needs to be dealt with by a human, it immediately connects me to a human. That means you could get rid of 80 to 90% of call centers, take the 10 or 20% of the people that are left, upskill them into high-level customer service people that have the authority to fucking fix problems that are escalated. Let the LLM-powered chatbot talk to everyone, answer the phone immediately, detect from their area code what part of the world they're in, and have the chatbot, respond to them in an appropriate dialect so it sounds like them. Have it know all the shit. Have the conversation. Have it record the conversation so that if it does escalate it to a human, a nice little report is given to that human. Here's what this person's dealing with. Here's why I escalated it to you. You don't have to be, that's the only transfer you do. It's a 2-transfer call center, and there's no phone trees. That's what I want. Go build that. There. Second business of the night. Second business of the night. That needs to be built. We're going to transform customer service to actually not suck again. Thank you. I got one heart on that. It's like, I don't know. He seemed really upset about call centers. I don't know. I don't think he likes India. Say it ain't India. That's not the problem. The problem is scripts and phone trees and bad, shitty, overcomplicated logic, and people that are paid below minimum wage that are not allowed to actually have a conversation. They can only read the script. That's the problem. You can flush that entire fucking system down the toilet, and it will improve dramatically. Andy Kaufman, here we come to save the day. There's some Gen X's in the house. Oh yeah, Wolfman. All right. Da 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 da. Yeah, Sean McCracken, I think that's really interesting. I would be curious to, keep me posted on how that evolves, because I think that's a big deal. Do me a favor, if you would, tap the screen, make the hearts go, and if you would, share the live so we can see if we can get some more folks in here. Silver Fox, for code interpreter, I've been saving the code when I have my results. Oh, that's interesting. Underdog, Mighty Mouse. Is copy and paste the only way to save migrate a ChatGPT history? No. If you go to your settings and then go to, what's it called? Data controls. And there's an export data button. Pop that button. Now, To Silver Fox, it was a Silver Fox. Yeah, to Silver Fox's point, I don't know that the code that Code Interpreter writes will get exported with that if your virtual machine has been shut down. So I would say for Code Interpreter, if you want the code that it wrote to generate whatever charts and graphs you like, that you might want to copy and paste. But that's worth an experiment. I had ice cream tonight because I'm a bad keto person. I'm doing okay on the intermittent fasting, but I'm doing bad on the keto, on the non carb part of it. I've lost a little bit of weight. This shirt didn't fit at all. I don't know, 3 months ago. So I'm attending a meeting about LLMs at my corp today. Wow, that's interesting. I'm in their chat group and learning group lab. That's cool, man. Is it a big company that you work at, Kavruno? And by the way, do you say your name Kavruno? I never know how to say your name. It's like Runo, Kavruno, KV Runo, K Vruno. I don't know. Anyway, you could change it so that it's like sayable. You'd be like LLM Mama, or what did I do last night? I misspelled AI Learning Lab when I made a bot. So I made a bot on Poe called AI Leaning Dude, which is not bad. Is Gmaps plugin a publisher, aka marketer, in my opinion, for now? A lot of the what's that, Sean? That was cool. I've never seen that one. I get the cowboy hat and a little heart every now and again, but the that was cool. Is Gmaps plugin? Gmaps plugin is a publisher, aka marketer, in my opinion, for now. A lot of the plugins right now, are just shitty ass ads for websites. Come on, focus. You can do it. Come on. There we go. All right. Here that generative AI could add 2.6 to 4.4 trillion to the economy. Yeah, I think the long-term prosperity, and that's low. Like that was a report. It was an article that came out like 10 days ago or something like that. Bruno, dang your name. And what it was talking about, it was kind of comparing the early predictions of what the World Wide Web would add to the economy and what it actually added, which was, significantly higher. And then, they're saying, 2.6 to 4.4 trillion. I think it's got the chance of contributing, even more than that, like a significant amount. Like we could exceed that. Again, I'm not an economist, but I just in my simpleton mind, when I hear anecdotal evidence of when a tech firm goes all in on code on GitHub Copilot, when they go all in on AI pair programming, they're seeing a 30 to 40% increase in productivity. So if you take that as an average, take the low end of that. Let's say there's a 25% increase in productivity thanks to these tools. And let's say these tools, get spread across all the stuff that we do. So you've got this amount of people working, producing this amount of economy. And with a 25% increase, like that's a lot. That's a lot of increase when we're measuring things in, 0.5%, 1%, 2%. If you see a 25% increase, that's a big gap that gets created there. And then, what do you do with that gap is interesting. Do you maintain the economy and lower the workforce, right? That's where you need universal basic income. Or do you maintain the workforce and dramatically improve the prosperity? And if you can do that in a way that the billionaires don't just buy a second and third yacht, but do that in a way where that money can go to deal with the displaced and upskill the displaced, then we potentially start to move into an economy that is quite prosperous. And that's a very real possibility. I want route optimization, input several addresses, and it gives you the most efficient driving. I think there's some that do that. I think is it Bing Maps that does that? I know Waze does that. You can do it within Google Maps, but it's really convoluted. It's the interface for it's really shitty. What would be worth trying is go to ChatGPT and have it tell you which mapping tools allow you to do that. Because I know there's what it was MapQuest. MapQuest had a pretty good version of that. I don't know if MapQuest is still around. They were big for a while. Training an LLM is terrible for CO2 emissions, equivalent to 60 or 70 cars. Yeah, I agree with that. Although if you're looking at what's going on with how they're training the smaller large language models in the open source community, where it's costing them like $100 in training to get it nearly to GPT 3.5 performance. I think the optimization of these large language models for the non big ones, right? I think OpenAI, Inflection, Google, Meta, you're going to have big players that are going to spend millions on, GPU centers to train the massive data sets. But I think the efficiencies and the open source things are going to get increasingly powerful in increasingly smaller packages. So I think there's going to be a balance, an equilibrium that's hit there where I don't think it's going to be runaway energy costs. I hope, but I don't know. Did you see the Google Sycamore quantum computer? Now I don't think this is related to AI because it's a different kind of compute, but maybe it is. I don't fucking know. But the Sycamore, so Google has a 70 qubit quantum computer, and they just did a benchmark that it calculated in 6 seconds what it would take today's state-of-the-art supercomputer 47 years to compute. 6 seconds versus 47 years. It's like, fuck. So, I have no idea what's going to happen with that quantum stuff. I mean, other than, all of your high security passwords are now compromised. That shit's gone. Anyone can get into any system at any time when you have that level of compute going on. Luckily, those things are still expensive. It just jumped me around again. Dang it. Dang it. Portland is homeless due to call center decline in automation. That's interesting. Listen, convert to text, query response, text to speech, play response audio already running. Oh, that's interesting, Sean. Yeah, I'd be interested to learn more about that because I mean I really do think like that's where it's got to go. Like just just if you think of the inefficiency of the incredible amount of time that must go into programming phone trees. Like I've got a small company and programming our little voicemail thing was an abject nightmare. I can't even imagine doing it for a bigger company. So just the labor alone to program call center tree logic is like that's a whole industry that needs to go away. It's a horrible experience for the end user. It's really expensive. It's really time consuming. It's not necessarily better for the company. Now, is that bad for all of the companies that have spent decades building phone tree logic programming companies? Yeah, it's fucking devastating. But which of those can pivot into this new world? Because maybe they become experts at creating the kind of system that you're talking about, Sean. Oh, Chris Bruno, largest private company in the world. Interesting, pretty big, 155,000 employees. Wow, that's really, I'm curious what sector. Okay, I'll call you Chris from now on because Bruno is making my tongue hurt. But nice to meet you, Chris. It's really interesting that your company is leaning into this. I'm curious what sector it's in. Hey, Kyle. Hello, Joy. Have you ever asked ChatGPT to write some good jokes? I have, and it sucks. Let's go try some now. We're going to try it on a couple of different tools. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. So we will do this. Well, this could be fun. So we're going to go to, so where I am is I went to Poe. So at Poe, we've got Sage, we've got Claude 2, 100K, Claude Instant 100K, ChatGPT 4, Claude Instant, and ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is 3.5, Claude Instant is Anthropic's equivalent of that, so those are roughly equivalent. Sage, I think, is like those two. Claude 2 is like GPT-4. Yeah. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go, we got to pick a comedian. Oh, we'll do Jim Gaffigan. Okay. I want you, you are a stand-up comedian, stand-up comedy writer who writes for, let's see, big name comedians like Jim Gaffigan and John Mulaney. They write their own stuff, I know, but that's all right. You're expert at writing short jokes about the funny things in life most people overlook. Okay, so we've set up who this person is. Now we say, write me a joke. Okay, here we go. About how fast, this is a good one, how fast avocados go from unripe to rotten, that's a universal frustration in all of the world. Okay. Sure, here's your joke for you. Avocados are like the Goldilocks of fruit. You buy them unripe and they're too hard. Then you wait a day and they're just right. But if you wait one more day, they turn into mushy green sadness. It's like you're auditioning for a spot on The Bachelor. They go from not ready to over-emotional in just 24 hours. There's the essence of a joke there, but that is hugely not funny. Okay, so let's go take our little prompt here, and let's pop down to, we'll do Claude Instant. So this is Anthropic's version of like GPT 3.5. Buy an avocado. Okay, buying an avocado is like adopting a puppy. You have about 2 days to use it before it turns into a rotten sack of goo. I don't get it. That's a good setup of a joke, but the punchline is disturbing. Is it like, did you not feed the puppy and now it's dead and it's a rotten sack of goo? Did you adopt a dead puppy? Yeah, that one's not good. Okay. Jesus, that was bad. All right. We're doing no edits here. This is first time joke, first time models. Okay, so now we're on ChatGPT. This is ChatGPT 3.5. Avocados are like Goldilocks of produce. Interesting that it used that same thing. They're either too hard, mushy, or too rotten. It's like they're trying to tell us to enjoy them at the exact moment they hit perfection, or else they'll turn into a mushy brown mess faster than you can say guacamole. So that is structurally much better than the Sage one, but it's still a bad joke. Like, it's just bad. It's not funny. Okay? All right, let's go. We'll go Claude 2. So Claude 2 is supposedly closer to GPT-4. Here's a short joke. My avocados are like an impatient toddler. 1 minute, they're hard as a rock, and the next, they're a slimy mess. I swear I just bought them and blinked. Now they're brown and mushy. Avocados age faster than a child star in Hollywood. So again, what's interesting here is it's got an interesting setup. It's aged faster than a child star in Hollywood. That could be a punchline, but my avocados are like an impatient toddler. 1 minute they're hard as a rock. Okay, that's just fucking disturbing. It's like, no. That's not how you do that. Okay, now we'll try GPT-4. GPT-4 better not suck at this. It can't get much worse. Like I don't even know which one. Claude Instant was the one that was better so far, wasn't it? Or was it Claude 2? No, it was Claude Instant. All right. This is GPT-4. Why do avocados have the worst sense of timing? I mean, you buy one and it's rock solid, like a green hand grenade. Okay, maybe. You check on it every day, but it's still not right. Then one day you go to the bathroom and boom, you come back and it's turned into a mushy brown guilt trip. It's like the avocado waits for you to leave the room and goes, quick, let's get rotten before they make us into guacamole. That's a joke. GPT-4 wrote a joke. Now, does that need to be edited and tightened? Yeah, but that's a joke. Right? It's like a hand grenade just waiting to go off. And then you go to the bathroom one day, you keep checking on it day by day. That's totally a joke. And that's totally a Jim Gaffigan joke. All right. Let's go try Pi. There's Pi, and then there was another one. So Pi, this is the inflection company. Start over. You're a tough crowd. No problem. Let's start over. Shall we start there? An avocado's lifespan is like a blink of an eye. You look at it one day and it's rock hard. The next day you look at it again and it's mushy and brown. It's like they've gotten the lifespan of a fruit fly. How did I do? Horrible. Okay, so Pi's not a joke writer. And then there was one more what was the other one? There's Pi. Oh, Claude. We did Claude at po.com. Okay, so there's your verdict. For Jim Gaffigan style jokes, GPT-4 is the only game in town. Oh, what would be interesting to try? Let's go try Bing, because Bing is GPT-4, but Bing has also been neutered. So I won't flip the camera, but I'll just pop it in here and let's see what it does. Why did the avocado hire a personal trainer? Because it wanted to go from unripe to overripe in 0.2 seconds. Ugh. That's a very Microsoft joke structure and joke writing. That's awful. All right, GPT-4 at OpenAI.com is the only place you're allowed. If you're going to use AI to write jokes, you can only use GPT-4 from OpenAI. That's the new law. If I hear anyone in here say, oh, I used Claude to write a joke for my stand-up act, I'll kick you out. You'll be banned forever. That's it. Get out. Get out. GPT-4 is the only one that wrote a joke. It's just like children. They start out rock hard. What? No. No, you can't say that. You go to jail for that. Where are the safety guardrails? Yes to Sycamore. 6 seconds down to 45 years. Yeah, 47 years. 6 seconds. I know. It's insanity. By the way, if you're new here, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. We like to have fun here. We write jokes. We compare different large language models and see which one's the funniest. Guess what? None of them are funny. But GPT-4 at least understands what a joke is. What else do we do? If you got questions about AI, pop them in the questions below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you're wondering who the hell I am and what are my qualifications, I have none. Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the CEO of a company called Storyvine, which is an 11-year-old automated video production platform, a video storytelling platform. I drink coffee at night. I live in Denver, Colorado. I'm a Taurus, and I got some unfortunate things going on the top of my head. All right. Oh, yeah, and the shirts are always a topic of conversation, whether or not they're appropriate for TikToking because of reading text on top of them. You answer after I'd already hit send. Oh, that's not a problem. You can put things in here. Tree logic is a heavy task now, very heavy. Portland lost most of its big centers years ago. That's interesting. They lost their jobs due to automation years ago. That's the thing about this AI stuff is the AI stuff has been around for what 2 or 3 decades, and it's really been being incorporated into almost everything we interact with for the past decade. The new stuff about these generative tools is just this idea of the speed with which you can process everything and the scale of what these things are trained on. So I think I think the acceleration continues. But yeah, that logic for phone trees it's got to be excruciating to work on the build side. Bill Burr. Yeah, that would be interesting to. Let's see. I'm going to go do something here. Was it Poe? Yeah. I'm going to say Bill Burr and Tom Segura are my favorite. Two of my favorites. So I'm going to say you're a stand-up comedy writer who writes for big-name comedians like, let's change this, Bill Burr and Tom Segura. You're an expert at writing short jokes about the funny things in life that most people overlook that can really piss you off. Write me a joke about how okay, let's see if the joke gets any better. So this is GPT-4, but we switched out the comedian from Jim Gaffigan to Bill Burr and Tom Segura. You ever feel like avocados are just messing with us? I mean, you buy an avocado and it's rock hard. I'm waiting for days, hoping it'll finally be ripe enough to use. But the second I turn my back, do a little Bill Burr. The second I turn my back, the avocado goes from unripe to rotten faster than politicians promise. It's like they're sitting there smirking, thinking, hey, you wanted to eat healthy, right? Well, here's a challenge for you. Get me at the right time or enjoy the taste of disappointment. That's not bad. GPT-4 can write jokes. GPT-4 can write jokes. Are they really funny? No. But I'll tell you what, if you were, what you could do with GPT-4? You could do this in a spreadsheet with the with the GPT for Sheets plugin. You could automatically generate a whole bunch of premises, like why do avocados go, go rotten so fast, whatever. Just have it write like 50 joke premises, and then just have it keep writing jokes. You spit out 300 jokes in an hour. There's got to be 5 in there that are worth saying. Bots aren't overly new. The logic displaced a lot of entry-level CC work on the high end. Yeah, well, I get that bots aren't new, but like what I haven't seen, I mean, maybe it exists, it's just not any company I've ever fucking called, is that there should be no reason that I'm on hold. Like, I shouldn't need to go into a phone tree waiting to talk to a person. I should just immediately be able to start talking to a bot, and then that bot should be dynamically, like, it should just have enough access to all of the information that it can answer all the questions. And if it can't answer a question, then it escalates. Hang on, Champ's got to go pee. Champy, you want to go see Mama? Yes. Your boy needs to pee-pee. Your boy needs to pee-pee. Champy needs to pee. All right. Sean, I hit enter before I was done again. I'll just listen. Hands are too sweaty. Exercise bike. I'm glad. I'm glad you clarified why your hands are sweaty. Oh, food, ag, bio-industrial, trading, shipping. So not funny, but you can feel a tinge of it. Yeah, exactly. Like those. At least GPT-4 understood joke structure. It was a little wordy, and it was a little not funny, but like I feel like the GPT-4 joke was at least close enough that if I were just stuck with writer's block, like I can't figure out how to make this premise work. I can't figure out how to make this premise work. And I told ChatGPT-4 to give me, 10 possible jokes for that. And I seeded it with some of my work, or if it knew my work. It would at least get me unstuck. I've been live for 90 minutes. That's dark comedy. That's disturbing. Exactly. That was the kid one. This is a great experiment. That's funny. Best one. Interesting. Snooze. Yeah, I know. Exactly. Is Bing free with Microsoft 365? It's just free. Time for bed on the East Coast. Peace, Jen. Thanks for being entertaining me tonight. You're welcome. Kyle, I'm too humble. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. It was great fun tonight. Thank you. Disturbing their conceptualization. Yeah, the conceptualization of puppies and babies. Yeah, it's just like a puppy. You bring it home and you have 2 days before it's a gooey pile of, mess. Yeah. Yeah. Avocados aren't funny anyway. Try a rabbi and a priest. Yeah, exactly. All right. You have become my total nightly entertainment education. I certainly appreciate you teaching. Thank you. Appreciate that. Bummed out yesterday when ChatGPT-4's servers went down. Yeah, I know. That was weird. Because of Code Interpreter? Maybe. Yeah, it's possible because Code Interpreter is spinning up a bunch of virtual machines, and that could be the way that ChatGPT works, but I have a sneaking suspicion it's different. So it might be Code Interpreter might have hosed the servers. But it was acting really weird last night. So I ran a malware scan after my live last night. I was having weird malware like CAPTCHA things show up, and I didn't have any. I'm on a Mac, so generally we don't have a ton of malware stuff on Macs, but I don't know what's going on. ChatGPT just gave me this joke. Why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they don't have guts. It's if you're writing a joke for sixth graders, and not even these days, that'd be like a joke for fourth graders these days, third graders. Someone in the chat just made a great point. Avocados are not funny. Avocados can be funny, but you just need to make fun of hipsters with them on toast, right? Isn't that the way to do it? Someone, Oh, Sonia. So Bing.com requires you to be in Edge for it to be free. Is that true? Wait, let me go look. I'm going to go run Chrome. If that's the case, I'd like to know that because I don't want to steer people wrong. Because I've been telling everyone, it's free. Just go there. You can use it. You can do it. Bing.com. Chat. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Bing Chat is only available in Microsoft Edge. Look at Microsoft getting all monopolistic and all. They're like, oh, yeah, that Chrome thing from that Google company, you can't use that. Nope. No, you're going to have to go on ahead and come on over to the dark side. We got your free GPT-4. All you can eat. It's here for the taking. Just download Edge. Make Bing your default. It'll be fine. That's pretty fucking evil. All right. I'm glad you said that. Thank you for saying that. So Bing is free so long as you sign your soul to the devil. Oh, Microsoft, your ways are dark and gnarly. No. It gives me a perverse thrill to see how you run your business. Leverage people. Extract money from them. It's delicious. Avocados are like children. They start out rock hard. What? What? No! That's not the joke. What was the Bing one? The Bing joke was even worse. Let's see. What was it? Why did the avocado hire a personal trainer? Because it wanted to go from unripe to overripe in 0.2 seconds. Yeah, Microsoft. I know. Listen. They're doing the good work. They're getting this AI stuff out in the world. We're gonna give them some benefit of the doubt. But I do have 35 or 40 years of Microsoft bashing to get over. Code interpreter wasn't working for me today, mid-afternoon EST, but maybe because I was waist deep in H2O. Are you in Vermont? Hopefully not. Good Lord, that looks like a mess up there. My MacBook Air made me download Edge to use Bing Chat feature. Yep. Looks like that's what they're doing. It won't write dirty jokes. Yeah, they won't. You're going to have to go to the open source models for that. And then I bet it'll write some jokes that are so dirty that you're like, oh, good God. Jeez. Oh, ah. Is this connected to the internet? Is the FBI watching? Yeah. Don't go to those unsupervised models if you don't want to get smacked upside the head with some freedom. Wait a few weeks. Wait. A few weeks ago, you said they were ahead in the AI space. What's changed? I said who was ahead in the AI space? OpenAI? What's changed is in the past 2 days, Anthropic came out with Claude. Inflections, Pi is out there. Poe now has GPT-4 in it. They got rid of Browse with Bing. And it was just wonky yesterday. But I don't know if that's what you're asking. A few weeks ago, said they were ahead in the AI space. I don't know who you're talking about, Becky. If you let me know, I'll say it. Yeah, Bing, no. Yes. Oh, yes, Vermont. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sending all of my best wishes and thoughts to Vermont. I did summer theater in Warren, Vermont for like 4 or 5 years. And damn, it's beautiful up there. But holy crap, that flooding is insane. Like really sad, really sad. Can I just hear AI? Do you get it? Do you get it? Is that something I say? You get it? You get it? I don't know. I don't know if that's something I say. It's one of the joys of ADD. I've got all these, verbal tics that I have no fucking clue what I'm saying half the time. So, is it true that ChatGPT cannot spell lollipop backwards? I don't think it can do things like spell it backwards or give me exactly this number of things or tell me how many things that you've created. All of that stuff it does poorly. We can try it. Spell lolly pop backwards. Pilopol. No, it did not come close. Nope, it can't. But it makes sense. If you understand how it does what it does, it has no awareness of what it's actually created. It only has the awareness of what's the probability, what's the highest probability of the next word in the sequence based on your prompt. And so until it gets better at self-reflection, essentially, it's going to be shitty at stuff like that, because that's bad. You know what would be interesting? Am I in Code Interpreter? No. Let me try it in Code Interpreter. Write a Python. Write and run a Python script that spells lollipop backwards. Let me run it for you. Yeah, it spelled it wrong again. Oh, no, it didn't. Populaw. So I asked it to write a Python script. So because it's writing a Python script, it can actually write the logic, and it knows the logic of the script, and it can run the script, and it ran it, and it got it right. So if you have it write code to do that, it can do it right. But just the way the large language model works, things like counting, predicting length of things, getting an exact number, like give me 13 bullet points, and it'll give you 12 or 14 or 16. And you're like, well, you gave me 14. It's like, oh, my apologies. Here's 13 bullet points. And then it gives you 16. That's just the nature of how the thing works. But if you use Code Interpreter and have it write scripty scripts for you, then you could start to do things like actual math and actual prediction and actual word jumbles. or you could just go down to the grocery store and get the word jumble in the checkout line. Do they still sell those? Is that a Gen X thing? Do those still exist? The word jumbles? No? That's just because I'm old, right? Just about sent that one through the nose. Is it true ChatGPT cannot spell lollipop backwards? That is correct. Oh, Microsoft. So I think Microsoft, Becky, is I think for a company the size and nature of Microsoft, they are acting more like a startup than they have in a long, long time. I think the fact that they are so aggressively incorporating OpenAI, ChatGPT into all of what they do, they're placing a big bet on it. I found out today they're one of the major investors in Inflection, which is a competitor to OpenAI. So Microsoft's a big company. They're going to do what they're going to do. They will always tend toward the more conservative to protect the revenue of what they've got. But yeah, I think, listen, for a company as big as they are, what they've done in the past 6 months is nothing short of remarkable. And, whether or not they can sustain that and really take it to Google long term is going to be really interesting to see. My gut tells me, yes, they're going to be able to do that. Because I don't see Google has the engineering skill to do the science of this really well. I don't know that they have the usability and human factors expertise like an Apple does. Microsoft isn't great there, but they've gotten a lot better in the past 6 months. And maybe before that, like, frankly, I haven't interacted with Microsoft products in so long that, it's possible they've been improving over the years. But the stuff they've been doing with the AI integration is really solid. Ask Bing. Act like a spelling teacher and spell lollipop in reverse order. Did it right. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. The code that Microsoft used to program Bing Chat, which is sitting on top of a GPT-4 large language model, and what OpenAI did with theirs, like it's two very different code bases sitting on top of the same model. So it's fascinating to compare those two. And I get, my sense is that long term, Microsoft's Bing Chat is just going to get better and better and better. Like it's kind of like this, like GPT 3, 3.5, and 4 for OpenAI did this, and now they've kind of plateaued, and it's even starting to come down a bit. I feel like Microsoft went up to maybe like 3/4 of where they were. Like OpenAI was here, Microsoft came to here, and then Microsoft had to bring it down to like 50% because of the New York Times thing. And I just feel like Microsoft is going to be on this slow improvement over the next 2 years or 3 years. It's just going to get better and better and better, slowly, steadily. And like when they roll out Copilot or ChatGPT integrated into Office 365, it's going to be very well thought out. It's not going to be some janky ass add-on. So I think Microsoft's a really interesting one to pay attention to. When little kids tell ridiculously poor jokes, they always say, "Do you get it? Oh, do you get it? Do you get it? I get it. I get it." That was the Bing joke. That's so bad. Why did the avocado have a personal trainer? Because it wanted to go from unripe to ripe in 0.2 seconds. Did you get it? Get it? Oh, that's bad. It's so bad. Celebrity Jeopardy was a rerun last night. So why are you here tonight? About last night and failed miserably. Wait, what? I don't know what that's in reference to. Wait, Claude allows PDFs as input just like that? Yes. I just had it summarize my employee handbook. Yes. So look, so a couple of things to show overnight from when we talked last night. There's new things. So right now I'm in poe.com. You used to have access to Claude Instant 100K. Now you have access to Claude 2 100K. So Claude 2 is like the equivalent of GPT-4, but they now have a version with 100,000 token context window. So both of these Claudes in Poe have 75,000 word context windows. And GPT-4 right now has 4, maybe 8. I don't know what it is here, but I think it's 4. The other thing that's going on at Poe, I got this email this morning. See that little paper clip? You can now upload files into Poe as well. So that's pretty remarkable. So that's new. What else was I going to show you? If you go to Claude.ai, Hair Growth Geek, if you want to hop up on stage, your thing just popped up here. If that was you doing that, just do it again. I'll bring you up on stage. That might have just been TikTok going, hey, do you want to do this? But if you do, if you have a question or want to hop up here, let me know. Okay, this is Pi. So if you go to Claude.ai, this now also has a little paperclip here. You can upload up to 5 files, so 5 PDFs, or I don't think this will do zip files. Let me see if this does zip files. I don't think it does, but you can do 5 PDFs. Yeah, you can't do zip files, but you can do CSVs and PDFs. Oh, dog's singing. Goodwill Hunting screenplay. So let's open that. So now it's got the Goodwill Hunting screenplay in there. So I'll say, Who are the main characters and who likes apples? I don't have enough content to know, so it didn't do that well. All right. Failed there. Anyway, Claude.ai also has a 100,000 token context window. So a lot of things changed overnight. Like I feel like there are legitimate ChatGPT competitors in the market now. And there haven't been. There really haven't been. I mean, Bing and OpenAI were kind of in cahoots. Bard just wasn't anywhere close. Meta didn't. All of their stuff was crap. The Claude stuff was okay, but not great. But then Claude 100K, now Claude 2 with 100K, plus you can upload files. Thank you for that, Sean. I appreciate that. All right. Why do things that will take longer to input the prompt? Oh, yeah. But why do things that will take longer to input the prompt than do the thing manually? That's just one of those things with computers. You know how you spend 2 hours trying to get, some piece of software working? You download it, try to run the demo, then you find out the demo doesn't actually. And 2 hours later, you realize, oh, I could have just written that thing in that amount of time, because it's new technology and we're geeks, and geeks are going to geek. So, and quite frankly, the reason to invest the time into overwriting a prompt is that when you get it right, it's scalable. Like if I really dicked around with that joke writing prompt, like I guarantee you there's a way to write a joke writing prompt with a few example structures in there, where you could get it to consistently write the kind of jokes that you tell. Like it might take you 2 hours a session for 10 sessions, 5 sessions, where you could have been writing jokes. But if you get that fucker dialed in, you could really start cranking out some interesting stuff and change up your act. And so I think there's an investment in learning how these things do what they do that's worth that waste of time. But it's a great point. Funny jumbles, I know it. Have you ever asked it to list U.S. presidents who died in office? I have not. I'm going to get a raise with this. So much of what I do is hyper specific, so the PDF helps. Definitely go get a raise with this. I'm telling you, we have a short window where if you've got senior management that's slightly curious about this but doesn't really feel like learning it, if you can become the expert and make them look like superstars, there's going to be a whole lot of new VP of AI generation in companies that were like, had some sort of like, entry level, associate level project management. All of a sudden, wait, why are they the VP of AI prompting integration? I don't know. She went into Bob's office and came out with a raise and a new office. Go make Bob look like a superstar. I mean, Bob's a dick, but he can give you a raise. I have to run. Thank you all. Enjoyed it. Bye, Joy. Thank you. Iced coffee man. Oh, yeah. Charles. Oh. It's a lovely bouquet. Oh. Do you think ChatGPT is bad? No, I think ChatGPT is going to fundamentally change the world. I think ChatGPT is the inflection point after which nothing will be the same. I think ChatGPT is remarkable. I think it's the most powerful tool put in the hands of regular, everyday people, probably in history. I think it's remarkable. And it's not perfect. It hallucinates, meaning it lies. It's overly wordy sometimes, underly wordy sometimes, will confidently produce shitty work and think it's good. Well, it doesn't think anything. It'll confidently produce shitty work. And then if you really push it hard, then it starts to get better. And then if you really push it hard after that, you realize how remarkable it is. It is truly remarkable technology. The thing that makes it weird right now is that it's so raw and early. And it was tossed together. ChatGPT was written in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Now, the underlying model underneath it, that was in development for 7 years. GPT-1, GPT-2, GPT-3, GPT 3.5, ChatGPT, just a little shitty, thin application layer sitting on top of this powerful model. And then that little thin application layer, 100 million people started using it in the first 6 weeks. Fastest adoption of technology in history. So I think ChatGPT is fucking remarkable. And it's imperfect and new, and duct tapey, and spit and string are holding it together. It's just the nature of being, it's the price you pay for being early. If you want all this stuff to be slick and perfect, wait for 1.5 years and it'll be, you won't even, the whole idea of having to prompt stuff, I think that drifts very quickly into the background. You'll just say, hey, I want this, and it'll go figure out how to do it. All right, let's see. I'll do a few more questions here, and then I got to go. Isn't even on building a competitor as well in AI, never bet against Elon? Yeah, he just hasn't come out with anything yet. He's a little distracted with, he's got a cage match to prepare for. And Zuck, Zuck decided to clone Twitter just to piss him off. So I think Musk is going to be a little distracted. I mean, don't get me wrong. The man he shouldn't be able to run 2 companies, and he's running 7 right now. And, many of them are changing the world. So I'm not going to put anything past the guy, but he's a little busy right now. So I assume that we're not going to see anything from XAI for probably till early next year. And then they'll probably come to Tesla. So all he has to do is pluck 3 of them out of that and say, hey, go take all that shit you did here and go spin it up on these 10,000 GPUs over here and make it, 100x what OpenAI is doing, and tell me when you're done. That conversation's probably already happened. How long before AI will replace news anchors and other types of information services? I think that AI may reintroduce news anchors for local news that no longer exist. So I don't see it as a net loss. I think big networks and things like that, you're going to have news anchors. You're going to have regular news anchors. I think, though, what happens in the smaller markets where maybe the local newspaper, the local TV station has been nationalized because it got bought up by, Gannett or whatever the fuck it's called now, and Tegna, I think it's called now. One of those big companies, or one of the big newspaper companies that buy up all the local markets, and then the local news economy literally just goes away. So you only have national news being masqueraded as local news. I think we could see independent journalism come back with newspapers that are generated from AI and with news broadcasts that are generated from AI in an economically feasible way that brings local journalism back. And I think that would be good. There's a business to start. Although I gave that one out 2 nights ago. All right. I wanted to make jokes from thousands of joke structures that I can input how to force it to use the structure. You can so go to Claude.ai, go there, or go to Poe.com and pay the subscription, but you can do it for free at Claude.ai. Claude.ai has a context window of 100,000 tokens. That's 75,000 words. So categorize, make a spreadsheet of your thousands of jokes in your different categories, upload that, or copy and paste it into the prompt and say, based on all of these jokes in these categories, I want you to ask me for a topic and a premise, like a subject and a premise, and or a premise and a joke category, right? I want a knock joke, I want a story, I want a this, I want a that, and you've got them all categorized up above. So ask me, for a premise, and then I want you to give me a joke per category whenever I give you an answer. And then I want you to ask me which of the jokes you wrote is the funniest, and then I want you to give me 10 more like that. You could do that right now. You could just I would go right now to Claude.ai and do that, Mr. AI AIO. Oh, fantastic name, by the way. Kudos to the Mr. AI AIO. Come on. Huh? Do you see, people, how it's done? Do you see how it's done? Elon never have a generative AI project unless he buys it. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, he's not a dumb man. He's actually a smart guy. I'm up to over 9,000 likes. Whoa, shit! Tap that like button. Let's get me over 10,000. Thank you for the heads up. I don't pay attention to any of this shit. I don't know, where are you seeing this? Total views, diamonds, good connection. I don't know. Oh, here's my duration. I've been at this for 2 hours and 12 minutes. Right as my butt's getting numb. It's like clockwork. Guess who used ChatGPT to work on their resume and job app today? Fantastic. Yes. ChatGPT is great for that. Kids' bedtime. Thank you. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. All right. Lol, Kyle. Pause when you switch from front to back camera. Yep, we miss what you say. Sorry about that. What Bill Gates affliction with Microsoft now? What's Bill Gates affliction with Microsoft now? I don't know what you mean by that. Did something happen that I missed? Or what's his affiliation? Is that what you're asking? Made more sense to ChatGPT than backwards. Have a good night. Apple, Apple, Apple. It's a cult. It is a cult. I'm part of that cult. I'm an Apple fanboy from way back. Gotta go. Pleasure as always. Thanks, Silver Fox. S-Bang. Okay. There's all that stuff. Wind this puppy down. Claude is great, but they better get their act together on scale. It was super slow today. I know. I mean, listen, this is, Elon can be pissed at Sam Altman all he wants for taking that thing for profit. But the fact that OpenAI partnered with Microsoft and Microsoft could throw their entire cloud infrastructure at making this thing work. Think about if you threw together a little piece of software in 2 weeks. Let's say you did it in a month. It took you a month, and you launched that piece of software. And that piece of software even went to 1 million users in 2 months. Could you handle it? No. If it went to 100 million users in 6 weeks, like ChatGPT did, that thing shouldn't be functioning, right? Why is it functioning? Because they cut a deal with Microsoft, and part of that deal was, we're going to launch this thing, and if by some stretch of the imagination it fucking takes off, we want to be able to scale up on your Azure cloud infrastructure like that. That's why that thing's still alive. So yeah, I totally agree that Claude's going to have to get their shit together. And if you look at the investment, what the folks at Inflection are talking about, what they're going to spend the bulk of their $1.3 billion on, it's building a massive data center to be able to scale. So I think you're right. I think Anthropic's got to figure that shit out pretty quick. because that'll kill it. Like they could have technically superior answers, but if they're too slow and don't work, like now that we've got at least 3 kind of major competitors, and pretty soon we'll probably have 5 or 6. Like we as humans, we can only do things in 3. We can only do things in 3. So let's say there's 6 major competitors with these large language models plus open source. Only 3 emerge out of that, and the winnowing is gonna happen quick. So who survives? It's gonna be someone who's got some fucking infrastructure. That's for sure. Isn't it? How long before AI will replace news anchors? We did that. The 1,000 jokes one, we did that. That's a good idea regarding local journalism revival. I think it's actually a really important thing that could be a good business, that could be absolutely solved with this AI stuff, probably pretty simply. I was even thinking about, I think I might do a Zapier automation to mock it up, because I think you could probably pull local public records and with a Zapier automation, create a daily newspaper, a daily local newspaper for your neighborhood. Why not? Prompting wouldn't be that tough. It's just sourcing the public records and automating it. Not that tough. Now, what would be tough is how do you turn that into a business? But that would be an interesting exercise to play with. Thanks for answering my questions. You're welcome, Jokester. Joxer the Mighty. Jokester the Mighty. Oh, Jokester the Mighty. Over 10,000 likes now. Peace. Thank you, people. Yes, sir. Affiliation. I'm assuming he's still on the board. Bill Gates' affiliation with Microsoft. I think he's still on the board, but he's definitely out of day to day. And he doesn't. It's funny. He doesn't seem to have a horse in the game. Although I think, go look at the investor the investor list for Inflection. I think Bill Gates and Microsoft both invested in Inflection. Thanks, Kyle. You and your hair made another fun evening. I know. Oh, it's getting worse. See, it's fucking losing it. I'm ready to take it. It's like a helicopter. That's like if you said to Midjourney, I want you to show spinning helicopter blades. I think that's what it would make. All right. I'll leave that one as the final comment. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Peace. Good night. Chris. Peace out, everybody. I'm going to go do something with this hair. Act like Kyle's hair. Peace, everyone.